Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to take apart or open the casing and remove the transfer case off, forget what this transmission is, but I'll put it in the description. But the ones that come out of the Xterras, I believe they also come in the Pathfinders, the hard body, the pickup, the 300ZX, I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, they come in a bunch of cars there, 5-speed manuals. Anyway, so the first step is I'm going to support the transmission. It's really heavy. I'm going to put it on there. And we're going to start by removing the transfer case from the actual transmission. Alright, so once you've got the transmission all set up the way you want it, sorry I'm breathing hard, it's a really light transmission, it's only like 400 pounds. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to start taking all the accessories off. So if you open this up a little bit, we can take the breather tubes off, wiggle jiggle this off. Let's see here, come on. There we go. I can run this back here. We don't have to really separate it from the transfer case because we'll put that off to the side anyway. Make sure the wiring's all out of the way. I'd probably just unplug it all. So yeah, undo these clips. Right, undo all these here. Probably make marks so that you don't forget which one goes where. And then we'll move these clips off to the side. Take the wiring off. Yeah, just go around making sure everything's nice and clean. Oh yeah, and if you haven't pressure washed your transmission before you open it, that's a bad idea. So I highly recommend washing it up because you know, you don't want dirt and stuff going into your gears, right? Anyway, so yeah, take off all the wiring, the breather tubes and all that, and we'll go on from there. Alright, so with all the wiring removed and put off to the side, what I did is, this is where we're going to break the transfer case open from, right here. So look at pretty much every bolt here. I numbered them all so that we know exactly where they go. I believe there's 14 bolts all the way around, so I've numbered them all there. What we'll do is we'll start by taking all 14 away, basically. They're all 14 millimeters as well. I also did it to the transmission housing right there. But yeah, there's 10 of these. 14 of these are both 14 millimeter bolts though. So yeah, get around to removing all 14 of the bolts around here, and transfer case pretty much comes apart, but let's do that first. Alright, quick note here, I didn't label them, but pretty much all the bolts are the same size, so it doesn't matter if you label them or not, except for the bottom 3. So I'm talking about this one right here, this one over there, and then over on the other side I'm talking about this one right here. Or no, this one right here. So I'm talking about those three over there. They're longer than the others, but they are the same to each other. Anyway, once you got that out, what we can start doing now is basically separating the two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hammer here, basically try to separate the two from here. There's nothing holding them back anymore. This is really heavy. This is close to 140 pounds, so do be ready for this to drop. Alright, so once you've got it separated, you can pretty much just take that off to the side. There will be fluid coming out, so I'll get a drip tray underneath. Even if you've already drained the transmission, there's still going to be some residual fluid in there. Quick tip for if you're struggling to hammer, you can also put the bolts back in and hammer the bolts. Just the ones that go this way, not the ones that go this way. That'll help them separate, I guess. But yeah, and after you get some space, you can just shove that in there and kind of wiggle it free. Anyway, now I'm going to take these bolts off and pull this entire thing from the actual transmission here. Alright, so once you got the transfer case taken off, move it off to the side. Be careful that there's going to be lots of ATF left in there even if you drained it. I wasn't, and I soaked myself in ATF in the floor and I cleaned it all up now. But anyway, the next step now is we're going to take these 4 12mm bolts off, and this is going to let us take the control section off. So just take those 4 off and pry this entire thing straight out, and yeah, we'll go from there. So this just pries straight off. This entire piece will come off here. What you got to be careful about is that there's a spring right here, and you take the spring out, and there's also going to be a ball in there, so take that ball out as well, and keep them safe, obviously. Alright, so now what we're going to do is basically flip over the bell housing so that it's how it normally is, where the shifter would be on top. What we're going to go is over here where the starter mounts on, right here. I'm going to take this 14mm bolt off, and this entire thing will come off. You might have to So take that 14mm off and that whole thing's going to come off. You might have to put a flathead underneath and pry it out. But basically there's going to be a spring and a ball, which may stick to this thing in here, but if it doesn't, make sure you pull that out. Anyway, pull that entire thing off and set it off to the side. Alright, with that off now, what we're going to do is we can take off all 10 bolts going around this portion right here. Take those off, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start taking this off. To take this off, what you got to do is, you see this thing right here? You got to knock this entire thing out. So yeah, so just knock that entire thing out, the center portion and the outer portion as well. I'll show you guys what it looks like once I'm done. Alright, so once you've gotten all 10 bolts out, they're all the same size, so you don't really have to number them. What we're going to do is, this is what I meant. So you can knock this pin out, but to knock it out all the way, you see it's still in there. What you have to do is you're going to have to grab a 10 mil, take that bolt off, and then pull this plate straight out. It'll come straight out. And then you should be able to knock that pin all the way through. So once you've gotten the pin out from this guy right here, stand up the entire transmission like this on the bell housing, and what you can pretty much do now is start knocking this top portion off. So you can start hitting it with a hammer here, wherever you find some protrusion, to hit it up, or you can even hit it here, push it up type of thing. Once it starts coming apart, you can pry it apart, and you should be able to just lift it straight up. So now once you've gotten that top portion off, make sure you find that little pin that you kicked off. You obviously need it when you rebuild it, and you don't want this stuck inside your engine or your transmission. So focus. So yeah, I'll put this off to the side, and we'll move on to how to remove the second half. So once that's off, what you're going to do is lay the transmission outside here again. We're going to go into the bell housing area here. We can take the shift fork off, which forget how to do, but I'll tell you guys. I guess I'll figure it out one sec. But anyway, after you get the shift fork off, you're going to take all these bolts off. I believe they're all 12 mils. Yeah, 12 millimeters. These two are the longest. The rest are all the same. These two are the same, but they're longer than all the rest, and the rest are all the same. So remove all those. Then you can use a flathead or something to just pry this entire plate off. It'll just fall right off. Also, to take the fork, the shift fork and the throwout bearing off, all I did was just pull this straight out pretty hard. Well, not super hard, but harder than normal, and it just kind of came out. And once you do that, then you can just push this grommet in or towards you, and then you can just push the entire shifter fork out. Alright, so once you've gotten that cover off, what you're going to need are a pair of snap ring pliers. You're going to take that snap ring right there off, and you're also going to want to take this snap ring off. Where's the end on this? Right here. So you're going to open this one and open both of these to pull that out. When you open this one, you're also going to take this little washer looking thing off. It'll come off pretty easy by itself. But yeah, all you got to do is take that snap ring and then this washer thing off, and just a snap ring on this one here. So yeah, there's the big snap ring around the bearing. That's a small snap ring, and that's the washer. So once you get those out, what we're gonna basically do is, it's pretty much ready to come out, I guess. Now what you got to start doing now is basically just, I guess, try to figure out how to hammer these two apart. It'll take a while. Once you can make a space, you can start prying at it. The thing is, that bearing is pretty tightly fit, so you're gonna have to go around the entire transmission house and to be able to get it off. But yeah, let's do that, and we're almost done. And I know it's getting dark, but there you have it. That's how you get the transmission. That's how you tear down the transmission, I guess. And yeah, let's see. This is what my first gear looks like. You can see it's kind of scrunched up and gone, versus on my new one here. You see all the gears are good here. Okay. That's why I'm changing that up. But anyway, hasta la vista.